The Diary of Samuel Pepys, 19th of February 1660, Lord's Day. Early in the morning I set my books that I brought home yesterday up in order in my study. Thenceforth to Mr. Harper's to drink a draught of purl, whither by appointment Monsieur l'Impertinent, who did intend to, upon my desire to go along with me to St. Bartholomew's to hear one Mr. Sparks, but it raining very hard we went to Mr. Gunning's and heard an excellent sermon, and speaking of the character that the Scripture gives of Anne, the mother of the Blessed Virgin. He did there speak largely in commendation of widowhood, and not as we do to marry 2 or 3 wives or husbands one after another. Stop it! Stop! Here I met with Mr. Moore, and went home with him to dinner, where he told me the discourse that happened between the secluded members and the members of the House before Monk last Friday. How the secluded said that they did not intend by coming in to express revenge upon these men, but only to meet and dissolve themselves, and only to issue writs for a free parliament. He told me how Hasselrig was afraid to have the candle carried before him, for fear that the people, seeing him, would do him hurt, and that he is afraid to appear in the city, that there is great likelihood that the secluded members will come in, and so Mr. Crewe and my lord are likely to be great men, at which I was very glad. After dinner there was many secluded members come in to Mr. Crewe, which, it being the Lord's Day, did make Mr. Moore believe that there was something extraordinary in the business. Hence home, and brought my wife to Mr. Mossum's to hear him, and indeed he made a very good sermon, but only too eloquent for a pulpit. Here Mr. l'Impertinent helped me to a seat. After sermon to my father's, and fell in discourse concerning our going to Cambridge the next week with my brother John. To Mrs. Turner, where her brother, Mr. Edward Pepys, was there, and I sat a great while talking of public business of the times with him. So to supper to my father's, all supper talking of John's going to Cambridge. So home, and it raining, my wife got my mother's French mantle and my brother John's hat, and so we went all along home and to bed. A little appendix to that one, where Sam says he took a draught of purl. Purl was a mixture of, let me just show now. It was a mixture made by infusing ale with the tops of the wormwood plant. Other purgative or bitter herbs such as orange peel or senna might also be used. The drink was commonly drunk in the early hours of the morning, at which time it was popular with labourers.